Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today making my predictions for the 2022 edition of Full Gear. Our first match is for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, where the Acclaimed will be putting their titles on the line against Swerve and Our Glory. And in our opening contest of Full Gear, I believe the Acclaimed will be retaining the World Tag Team titles. With Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland seemingly not being on the same page, I think this match will be the last one for them as a team before they go on to their feud, where you find out who is the cameraman for Swerve when he attacked Billy Gunn, which then leads to Keith Lee having a match with the mystery cameraman, and then him and Swerve had their big blow-off match, where I think we finally see Swerve take that shot up to the top of the AEW. Now the Acclaimed, I think the sights are pretty much set. Them and FTR will eventually have to have a match for all the gold. So now on to match number 2. And match number 2 will be another tag match, but this one will not be for titles, where we'll see Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal take on Darby Allin and Sting. Not a lot of insight into this match. I think Team Double J will be taking 2 double L's back after they lose to Darby Allin and Sting here. I feel like I say this every pay-per-view, but I feel like Darby Allin and Sting could get a chance at the tag team titles eventually, and I think this match will just be the Sting jumped off insert this match of the evening. So now on to our next match. And that'll be for the AEW World Trios Championships, where we'll see Death Triangle take on the returning Elite. For this Trios match, I see things being righted from what happened last pay-per-view after the whole brawl-out situation. But when these Trios titles were introduced, we were pretty much told they were going to the Elite, and now with them returning, I believe they'll be taking back the World Trios Championships, defeating Death Triangle. Now with the Elite back at the top of the Trios division, I wonder where this could lead. Would House of Black make their triumphant return to television here at Full Gear? Could them and the Best Friends have a feud? Could the Elite just be heels after we saw the vignettes of them being basically erased from the history of the company? And what will happen on the Dynamite after Full Gear in Chicago with the Elite coming out? So now on to our next match. And that'll be for the TBS Championship, where Jade Cargill will be defending her title against Nyla Rose, who currently is in possession of the title. No crazy pick here. I believe Jade Cargill will be defeating Nyla Rose to get back her title and still be the TBS champion. I still think all signs lead to Jade getting towards 50-0 and being 50 her toughest challenger to date, whether that's someone who was a big stalwart somewhere else coming in to take her on, or someone who was a big AEW champion like Hikaru Shida. But for Full Gear, Jade will be defeating Nyla Rose. So now on to match number 5, which will be a 4-way for the Ring of Honor World Championship, where Chris Jericho will be putting his title on the line against Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Sammy Guevara. I think in this match we'll see tensions arise between both sets of guys who are on the same team, with the Jericho Appreciation Society with Jericho and Guevara, and with the Blackpool Combat Club of Danielson and Castagnoli getting in each other's way, being like, hey, I want this more than you. And then maybe a team will implode. But I feel like Chris Jericho will be retaining the Ring of Honor World Championship in this match. Full transparency here, I want to happen whatever will put this feud to bed between the JAS and the BCC. And I think Jericho retaining could put this to bed, where Claudio and Danielson can maybe get into it, and then there's a little feud between them two. And for Jericho, he's just going through Ring of Honor guys week after week, leading to Final Battle, where he'll hopefully lose the title to the guy who's going to be the head of Ring of Honor when they get their deal for TV or streaming, when they're just on their own now. And the final pay-per-view leading into the Ring of Honor TV show on their own, back on their own again, I think beating Jericho would set them up for maximum impact. So now on to our next match. And that'll be a steel cage match, where Jungle Boy Jack Perry will be taking on Luchasaurus. For this match, I see Jungle Boy doing something crazy off the top of the cage and defeating Luchasaurus. All signs are leading to Christian and Jungle Boy going at it, and a win here over Luchasaurus sets that up, but I have no idea when that happens, because I am not a doctor, so I don't know when Christian's back from injury. But not to tip my hand on how the rest of these picks are going to go, but I feel like AEW is going to need a lot of baby faces ready to go and challenge for titles. So now on to match number 7 of the evening. And that'll be a 3-way for the TNT Championship, where Wardlow will be putting the title on the line against Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs. And after this 3-way is set and done, I believe we'll have a new TNT champion, and his name is Powerhouse Hobbs. Now, Wardlow's reign has been something. And I feel like a refresh for the TNT Championship is kind of needed again, which kind of stinks. And I think Hobbs could do what everyone thought Wardlow was kind of going to get to do, but this time Hobbs is just going to start smashing people week after week. He could feud with Jungle Boy, who's going to be kind of stuck in this I'm waiting for Christian period. And maybe even him and Ricky Starks for their third match is for that TNT Championship, where Hobbs puts this rivalry to bed and gets the win. I can also see Wardlow going to Ring of Honor to have a match for Samoa Joe's TV Championship, or maybe he gets put into that world title scene in ROH where he could be the guy over there before making his return to AEW, to where it's like, holy hell, this guy's been running shop in ROH since they've been on their own. He's been the guy, now he's back here, and we knew what he did before. Now let's see what he'll do here again. So this Wardlow TNT Championship reign will maybe feel like a distant memory. So now on to match number 8, which will be added to the matches I didn't think I'd be saying bingo card for this year and a half now. We'll have Dr. Britt Baker taking on Saraya. Now, going into this match, I don't know how the crowd will be there in the Prudential Center. I don't know if Saraya will be the clear favorite to the crowd here, but I think she's the clear favorite in this match, and in her return to in-ring action, I believe she'll be defeating Dr. Britt Baker. So now my question is, where does this lead for Saraya? What's her next path? Because as we've heard from her, that they're just going to wean her into matches until hopefully she's back to full strength. Does she go up into the world title mix? Does she have a match with Toni Storm or Jamie Hayter? Does she go, and is she the one who's number 50 for that 50-0 match for Jade Cargill for the TBS Championship? Or could something else be on the horizon for Saraya that none of us are even thinking about? But now what happens with Britt Baker? Because I think the next match is going to set some wheels in motion to what we could be seeing next out of the Doctor. And our next match is for the AEW Interim Women's Championship, where Toni Storm will be putting the title on the line against Jamie Hayter. So now if my little teaser didn't tip the pick off enough here, I believe Jamie Hayter will become the new AEW Women's Interim Champion here. I think the stark contrast between how Jamie Hayter's night is gonna go versus how Britt Baker's night went here at Full Gear could set the wheels in motion for the split to finally happen. To where Britt's pissed that she had her big match against this huge superstar in women's wrestling and she failed. But meanwhile, Jamie Hayter became the champion of the division that she claims is hers. And I feel like this is the better way to go than the other one that I think could happen here, where Britt Baker somehow, someway messes up and has Jamie Hayter lose, where she's the reason that Jamie lost, and the crowd will be pissed. I think you give the crowd their moment to where they've been behind Jamie Hayter for feels like months now. She's the champion, and then we get a big feud that people have been waiting to see happen come out of this match. So now on to our co-main event of the evening. And this will be the finals of the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament, where I think we'll be seeing Ethan Page take on Ricky Starks. So now, full contrast here, I'm just thinking about what could be happening, because we haven't officially been announced what's gonna happen, but Ricky Starks is having a match on Friday on Rampage against Lance Archer, which he still would have to defeat Brian Cage, and then he has to have a match with Ethan Page. So I think him and Brian Cage will be happening on the buy-in of Full Gear, where Ricky Starks will win. And then he's going to take on Ethan Page here for his second match of the evening and his third match in the Prudential Center in about 24 hours. And I think in his third match, Ricky Starks will be running the table and be defeating Ethan Page to become the #1 contender for the AEW World Title. I think with Ricky Starks having to run the table and win 3 matches in about 24 to 28 hours in one building could be a great story and a contrast to what we could see happen in the main event. Now, while I feel like if Ethan Page were to win the tournament, that would leave the main event a little more open-ended, because he could legitimately go after either person, because we don't know how that match could possibly end. But I think Starks has the equity built in and the fan support behind him to where he could get a run at the world title, where he'll unfortunately probably come up short, then pivoting to go after Powerhouse Hobbs for the TNT Championship, where they can put their feud to the bed for now. And I think Starks main eventing Winter is Coming against who I think may be the world champion then will be something I think fans have been clamoring for, especially those who don't like outsiders. So now on to the main event of Full Gear, and that'll be for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, where Jon Moxley will be putting his title on the line against MJF. Now, there is no doubt in my mind that we'll be having a new AEW World Champion here with MJF beating Moxley. But for the life of me, I don't think the crowd's going to boo him. I think MJF's going to be cheered over as hell here. It's going to be a crazy raucous crowd, probably if we're judging off AEW pay-per-view times at 2:45 in the morning. And there's a big part of my brain here that thinks shenanigans is going to be afoot. It's where the only way this crowd will boo MJF if he does stay heel with the Firm coming out to help him is just a terrible finish to a pay-per-view. It's where the Firm does something and MJF wins. But for the life of me, I think the way to go here is just have MJF do it on his own. I don't want to see some elaborate thing where the Firm runs in, the refs down, and here comes Morrissey, and here's Ethan Page, here are the Ass Boys, here's Lee Moriarty. Stokely Hathaway slips something in the ring, boom, MJF clocks Mox, then he wins. I'm perfectly fine with an ending of Stokely Hathaway doing a reverse Wardlow here to where he brings the ring to MJF, MJF puts the ring on, bang, hits Mox, salt of the earth, and it's over, and he wins the title. I'm fine with something subtle like that, especially because then they can play off the Moxley MJF match from the pandemic run where the paradigm shift was not allowed, and Mox hit it behind the ref's back and beat MJF, to where MJF would say, I out-moxed Mox in his own game here, and that's why I'm the best wrestler in the world now. And even stare that down into William Regal's face, maybe on the Dynamite on the Wednesday after Full Gear. And I think this could set Mox off to go on his vacation, and we won't be seeing him until 2023. So I think in the home of the Devils, the Devil himself will become the new World Heavyweight Champion. So that'll do it for my predictions for Full Gear. Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you like what I'm doing on the channel and want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Next Tuesday, I think, is the last predictions video of the year, since there's no pay-per-views in December or premium live events. So come back for that next Tuesday and enjoy Full Gear, and thanks for watching.